Welcome to a dice mechanics explanation for Roll-In-1. It's a dice golfing game. Imagine that each of these 6 dice is like a different golf club. The more sides, the farther you are likely to travel. But I'm going to take you back in history to the original idea that did not work at all, even though it had 6 dice that were the d4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20. I had this moment playing a friend's golf dice dexterity game where I wondered, what if you had different types of dice, and the more sides they had, the farther they went. If I choose the d20, you aim your ball somewhere on the map, you move forward whenever you beat your previous roll. You choose your club, you take a swing, you start rolling, and you see where it goes. Well, okay, 3, that's great. I have to beat that. All right, I rolled a 4. That's great. Now I rolled a 7. This is actually going really well. And this is exactly what I was imagining. 11, so I'm going to keep going. 13, wow, this is going fantastically. 10, okay, I didn't beat my roll, so I stop. Whereas the d4, I roll a 2, I roll a 1, and I stop. Well, that worked until I showed it to my data scientist wife, who explained that actually this doesn't work in the long run. Let's see what happens if I roll again. I rolled a 1, now I rolled a 13, now I move 2, and I rolled a 3. So suddenly, this d20 only went 2 spaces. Let's try it again real quick. I rolled a 13, and I rolled a 19, and I rolled a 19. So again, 2 spaces. First time was awesome. That was exactly what I was imagining. The next 3 times did not work. So she explained that probability-wise, this just doesn't actually work. So I went back to the drawing board. I thought, well, what if you used a bunch of d6s? We have this game, Tenzi, which is just filled with d6s that I use. That did not work at all. And then I was determined there was something here. There was something in this idea of the different sided dice. Well, I finally came up with this idea, and I said, what if I cover a bunch of these sides in silver nail polish, and say if you roll one of those, you move forward and it's not a number. Ignore the number. All right, I rolled a 4. I rolled a silver. I rolled a silver. I'm succeeding. I'm still going. Silver. 7. That's still better than my 4. All right, 6. So suddenly I went many more spaces. So the probability works out to where I said the more sides, the higher number of sides I'm going to cover and just count as successes. So that ended up being the root of this idea. I then started to say, well, maybe the d12 actually has some purple sides, and if you roll those, you have to change direction. If you don't roll a purple side, you can't change direction. Then it was like, okay, this only has 3 sides that are different. This only has 1 side that is not a number. And so that kind of worked. And then I finally got some blank dice and started to put miniature stickers on them. And I think they're pretty great, except these miniature stickers keep falling off. But it was really good to allow me to very actively test different sides and different types of dice. So I ended up coming up with additional effects that the dice can do. Until we get to the final versions, where if you roll a triangle, you move forward. If you roll a number, you move forward a space only when you beat your previous number. And that is where Roll-In-1 came from. So if you like this video, please share it with people you know. If you're a nerd about this stuff, if you're not a nerd about this stuff, well, please share it with people you know anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to check out Roll-In-1 on Kickstarter.